If your workouts feel heavier every week, it's easy to label it as low motivation. But a lot of the time, the real issue is under-recovery. Your body and brain are simply not caught up with the stress you're piling on. Recovery isn't just rest days. It's sleep quality, fuel, nervous system load, and how well you're adapting between sessions. When recovery is short, effort feels expensive. Small tasks feel annoying, and you start needing more willpower just to do what used to feel normal. The good news is you can spot this early. There are patterns, physical, mental, and performance-based, that show up before you crash, get hurt, or quit. In this presentation, you'll learn the most reliable warning signs, why they happen, and what to adjust first. The goal isn't to train less forever. It's to train in a way that you can actually absorb and keep progressing. Moving to slide 2. First, get clear on what recovery really means. Training is the stimulus. Recovery is the rebuilding. If the stimulus is bigger than your ability to rebuild, you don't get fitter, you get more worn down. And it's not only gym stress. Work deadlines, poor sleep, long commutes, family stress, and even lots of steps can all pull from the same recovery budget. That's why two people can run the same program and get totally different results. One person adapts. The other person feels flat, sore, and irritated. A useful way to think about it is capacity versus load. Capacity comes from sleep, nutrition, hydration, and downtime. Load comes from training volume, intensity, and life stress. When load stays high and capacity drops, your body starts choosing survival over performance. You can still push through, but the cost keeps rising. The goal is to notice the mismatch early and correct it before it becomes a long setback. Moving to slide 3. One of the clearest warning signs is performance drift. Not one bad session. Those happen. The red flag is when your normal weights feel unusually heavy for several workouts in a row. Or your pace drops at the same effort. Or you need longer warm-ups just to feel okay. Under-recovery often shows up as reduced power first. You can still grind, but you can't pop. Another clue is rising effort for the same work. Sets that used to be a comfortable 7 out of 10 suddenly feel like a 9. You might also notice technique getting sloppy earlier, because your nervous system is less sharp. If you track anything, track trends. A 3-week pattern matters more than a single day. When performance drifts while you're training harder, that's not a motivation issue. That's your body giving you feedback. The smart move is to listen while the message is still quiet, before it turns into pain, illness, or burnout. Moving to slide 4. Another big sign is soreness that doesn't behave normally. Some muscle soreness after a new stimulus is expected. Under-recovery looks different. It's soreness that lingers longer than usual, or soreness that returns even when the training hasn't changed. You might feel bruise-like tenderness, or stiffness that makes the first part of the day feel rusty. Pay attention to how quickly you bounce back. If you used to feel fine within 24 to 48 hours, and now it's 72 hours plus, that's information. Also notice joint irritation versus muscle fatigue. Muscles can adapt quickly. Tendons and connective tissue adapt slower, and they complain when load climbs faster than recovery. This is where people often push harder, because they think soreness means they're working. But persistent soreness can mean you're not repairing. The fix is usually boring but effective. Reduce volume for a week, keep movement quality high, and rebuild your recovery habits so soreness returns to being a short, predictable signal. Moving to slide 5. Sleep is where under-recovery often shows up first. And it's not only about hours. You can be in bed for 8 hours and still recover poorly if sleep quality is low. Common patterns are trouble falling asleep even though you're tired, waking up at the same time every night, or waking up feeling unrefreshed. Some people notice vivid, stressful dreams when their nervous system is overloaded. Another clue is needing more caffeine to feel normal, then crashing later. Studies show sleep disruption can reduce performance and increase perceived effort, even when training stays the same. If your sleep gets worse as training ramps up, don't treat that as a separate problem. It's part of the same system. The simple check is consistency. If you can't keep a steady sleep schedule because your body feels wired, that's a recovery red flag. The earlier you respond, the less you'll need a long forced break later.
Moving to slide 6. Under recovery also changes your mood in very specific ways. You're not just unmotivated. You're more irritable, less patient, and small problems feel bigger than they should. That's often a nervous system signal, not a personality flaw. Another pattern is losing your sense of reward. You finish a workout and feel nothing, or you dread training you normally enjoy. Some people feel anxious for no clear reason. Others feel flat and detached. When your body is stressed, it prioritizes safety and energy conservation, and that can blunt drive. This is why you can't fix under recovery with hype. Motivation is a feeling. Recovery is a state. If your baseline mood is sliding for more than a few days, treat it like a training metric. It belongs in the same category as performance and sleep. The practical takeaway is to reduce overall stress input for a short window, training, life, or both, until your mood returns to normal range.
Moving to slide 7. Here's a sneaky one. Your resting signals shift. Many people notice their resting heart rate creeping up, or their heart rate staying elevated longer after sets. Some also notice they feel out of breath earlier in warm-ups.
If you use heart rate variability, a sustained drop can also match under recovery, though it's noisy and not perfect.
The key is your personal baseline. A single weird reading doesn't matter. A consistent change across several days does. Your body is basically saying, I'm working harder to do the same thing. Dehydration, poor sleep, and high life stress can all cause the same pattern, so don't overinterpret one metric. Use it as a nudge to check the basics: sleep, food, fluids, and training load. If your physiology is trending the wrong way and you keep pushing intensity, you're betting against your own data. The smarter bet is to lower the stress for a short period and let your baseline come back. Moving to slide 8. Appetite changes are another strong clue, and they can go in either direction. Some people get hungrier and crave quick carbs because the body is trying to refill energy and calm stress. Others lose appetite completely, especially when stress hormones are high. Both can be under recovery. Also, watch for unusual cravings for salty foods, which can sometimes track with heavy sweating and not replacing electrolytes. If you're training hard and consistently undereating protein or total calories, recovery gets expensive fast. Your body still has to repair tissue, replenish glycogen, and support immune function. When fuel is short, you might feel lazy, but it's often just low energy availability. The practical move is to make fueling boring and consistent. Get a protein anchor at each meal. Add carbs around training as performance is dropping. And don't ignore hydration. Being slightly dehydrated can make sessions feel harder than they should. Appetite is feedback, not a moral test. Moving to slide 9. Under recovery often shows up as nagging aches that migrate. One week it's the shoulder, next week it's the knee, then it's the low back feeling tight for no clear reason. That pattern can mean your tissues are not getting enough time and resources to remodel. It can also mean your movement quality is degrading because you're fatigued, so you start compensating. Another clue is losing your spring. You feel heavy going downstairs, or you feel stiff when you start moving. This doesn't mean you're broken. It means your margin is thin. The mistake is to add more intensity to push through, or to change exercises every session, searching for a pain-free option while keeping total stress high. A better approach is to zoom out, reduce volume, keep technique clean, prioritize full ranges you can control. If pain is sharp, worsening, or persistent, that's a reason to get a qualified professional involved. But for many people, these early aches are simply the body asking for a recovery deposit. Moving to slide 10. Your immune system can also be a messenger. If you start catching every little cold, or you feel run down more often, it can be a sign your total stress load is too high. Studies show heavy training blocks, especially with poor sleep and low energy intake, can affect immune function. You might also notice slower healing of small cuts or frequent mouth irritation. None of these signs prove under recovery by themselves, but clusters matter. If performance is dropping, sleep is worse, mood is edgy,
and you're getting sick more often, that's a strong pattern. The fix is not to panic. It's to reduce stress and restore basics. Pull back intensity for a week. Increase sleep opportunity. Eat enough to support training, and be extra consistent with hydration. If you're repeatedly getting ill, or symptoms are severe, that's a good moment to check in with a healthcare professional. The main point is simple. Low motivation doesn't cause frequent sickness. Under-recovery can. Moving to slide 11. Let's talk about the difference between overreaching and under-recovering, because people mix them up. Short-term overreaching is when you intentionally train hard for a period, then you back off and rebound stronger. It's planned. Under-recovering is when the hard period never ends, or life stress quietly rises, and you don't adjust. The result is you keep accumulating fatigue without the rebound. A good sign you're in a healthy hard block is that you're tired, but your sleep is okay, your mood is stable, and your performance is mostly holding. A sign you're under-recovering is that multiple systems slide at once: sleep, mood, performance, and soreness. This matters because the solution is different. Planned overreaching needs a deload on schedule. Under-recovery needs you to change the inputs earlier, not just survive until a break. If you learn to separate these two, you stop blaming yourself and start managing training like a system. Moving to slide 12. So what do you adjust first when you suspect under-recovery? Start with the highest leverage move. Reduce training volume, not necessarily intensity. For many people, cutting total sets by 20 to 40% for 1 week is enough to restore bouts without losing momentum. Keep a few heavier sets if they feel good, but drop the extra junk volume that just adds fatigue. Next, tighten sleep basics. A consistent bedtime and wake time is often more powerful than chasing perfect hacks. Then check fueling. Get enough protein daily and add carbs around training if you're dragging. Also, consider your weekly layout. Too many hard days in a row is a common mistake. Alternate hard and easier sessions so your nervous system can recover. Finally, look at life stress. If work is intense, that might be the week you choose maintenance training. The goal is to exit the red zone quickly, then build back with a plan you can repeat. Moving to slide 13. To make this practical, use a simple self-check you can run in 2 minutes. Rate your sleep quality, mood, soreness, and training readiness from 1 to 5. Then look for patterns, not perfection. If 2 or more categories are low for 3 days in a row, treat that as an under-recovery alert. Another useful check is your warm-up signal. If you need twice as long to feel coordinated, that's your nervous system asking for less load. And if your easy pace or weights feel hard, that's a strong indicator your baseline is off. The point of tracking isn't to obsess, it's to remove guesswork. Under-recovery is sneaky, because you can still function, you just function with more friction. A tiny system like this helps you catch it early, and respond with small changes instead of big forced breaks. If you want one rule to remember, it's this: when your body is whispering, adjust. Moving to slide 14. Here's how to prevent this from happening again. First, earn your progressions. Add either weight, reps, or sets, but not all at once. Second, schedule deloads before you feel desperate. Even a lighter week every 4 to 8 weeks can keep you adapting. Third, keep easy days truly easy. Many people accidentally turn every session into a medium-hard grind, and that's a recovery trap. Fourth, match training to our season of life. When work or family stress rises, shift to maintenance and protect sleep. And finally, remember that recovery is not passive. It's a set of behaviors you practice. Consistent meals, consistent sleep, hydration, and some quiet time where your nervous system can downshift. If you do these things, motivation usually comes back on its own, because training stops feeling like a fight. If this helped, share one sign you've personally noticed when you're under-recovering. A, sleep gets worse, or B, performance drops. And if you want more practical training systems like this, subscribe. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Recovery drives performance. Performance drives longevity.